Uh, just practicing my Millie Rock, cause your boy's in New York and I gotta, what they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So I don't want to look out of place when I'm doing my Millie, when I'm Millie rocking on any block. Then they be like, yo, he ain't from here. So it's finally here. The moment has finally come. I'm in New York City. We in the Big Apple, the Tri-State. I think that's what it's called. We finally here on my first travel assignment. I feel like this is a day that I've been waiting for pretty much all my career. Since I got pinned and walked across that stage, I wanted to become a travel nurse. And, in my first year, I'm watching travel nurses and I'm, basically stalking recruiters. And shout out to my girl Karen, who has just kind of put up with me for the last 2 years until it was finally time to go. And the day is here. Now, is it what I thought it was going to be? No. Because I feel like nothing in my life comes easy. We work so hard to get here and on this journey. And what are the odds that my first travel assignment, I'm going to be in the epicenter of this COVID-19 pandemic in the United States, in the prime area where they're the most positive patients in New York. And at first, I was excited for it. The money was there, and I felt like I was doing something good for humanity. I'm like, I've never experienced a pandemic, and it's been a long time since we've experienced a pandemic. And now I felt I'm going out there. I'm going to be on the front lines. This is like the Million Man March, or the this is like, this is just historic. It's historic. This will be talked about for history, and I'm gonna be one of those people that'll be able to share my story with my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids. And let me tell y'all about 2020 and the coronavirus. I'm gonna be able to tell them I was there. I'm gonna be able to tell them what I saw and share all that experience. So I was excited. I was ready to start my journey until I opened my mouth and started telling people. And pretty much the people close to me that care about me, and even people just telling them, like people from my job, or telling people what my next move was as far as work. And I was just getting a lot of negativity, a lot of doubt, and just a lot of negative energy. And person after person after person after person after person, it was weighing down on me. And a lot of people were just putting their fears on me. Everybody that I told, I don't think one person was, happy, like, the day has finally come, this is what you've been waiting for. Nobody. So, I started to question, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this, because I didn't even have, at the time, support from my mother. If you guys don't know, I'm an only child. I was raised by a single mother, and I didn't even have the support of my mother, because she was scared to death for me. She was scared. I felt like she thought I was going to walk in the New York street and just die right where the ball dropped. I don't know, but my mother didn't even want me to come here, and that was scary, because I was like, if I don't even have the support of my mother, what if they right and I go out there and I get the virus, and now it's, look, I told you not to go out there, and I'm gonna be wrong. So I was kind of having some of that doubt, and even in the process of signing my contract, I was having trouble finding housing. A lot of the renters on Airbnb were turning me away, because they ain't want to deal with none of that. Oh, you a nurse, you gonna be around those patients, you gonna bring it back home. They weren't feeling it. So they would either try to charge you an enormous amount for cleaning services, or they would cancel your request. And I know I was, maybe 2 days out before I was supposed to leave and arrive in New York, before I actually found a place to stay, and I had to go to Craigslist. So when we start talking about travel nursing, we're going to have to break down into this housing situation. But I was able to find a nice brownstone in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you about it. Check it out. Come on in, let me show you the crib. When I got here, it wasn't what I expected. That was just I'm just in a different environment that I'm not used to. And even, going to my first day of orientation, the things that I saw when I walked into that ED, me already being uncomfortable, and now I'm scared because I'm seeing this. I've never seen this in my work environment, or never seen this in my day-to-day ever. Usually you might have one vented patient, and then that becomes a 2-to-1 nurse ratio. I walked in, it was 4 vented patients on this side, 4 vented patients on that side, and then 2 over in the corner. And I'm like, it was chaos. It was chaos, and not organized chaos. Just chaos. Vents going off over there, pumps going off over there, monitors going off over there. It was just a mess. I felt like I walked in and the world started spinning. So I'm on my way home from my first day of orientation, and I'm just thinking, maybe this not for me. Maybe this is not for me, because I should have stayed my ass home. This is about to be hell. And I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning all night because I knew I had to go back to orientation for my clinical orientation, which was, when we do orientation around the unit. Now, you as a travel nurse, you only get 2 days orientation, okay? You get your hospital orientation. You get your hospital orientation, then you get your clinical orientation. Now, before I became a traveler, I was a agency nurse, and being an agency nurse, you got a week. Here, you only got 2 days to learn everything and function efficiently, or they're gonna get you out of there. And just seeing the chaos that was going around, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go back. So, we wake up, we go back the next day, and now that I was not just seeing what was going on, but I was actually in what was going on, and I was able to, get in my flow of things and working with, was helping my preceptor or orientator out, and just basically we was working together. We had 9 patients, 4 of them was vented, and we were working together, getting things done, and that was from 6:45 in the morning to 7 p.m. And after that, I felt good, because I saw I was doing more than I was seeing, and I was realizing that this is something that I can handle. And on my way home, it was a message that I wanted to share with you guys. Check this out. What's up, my good people? Listen, I just wanted to give y'all some insight, because I'm feeling good right now. Had a moment of self-motivation and self-revelation. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Listen, just finished orientation. Just finished my second 12-hour shift in the ED. So my next shift will be on my own, hit the ground running, throw me to the wolves. But I'm proud of myself, because when I first got there, when I first got to the facility, and when I first got to my unit, which is the emergency room, I saw everything that was going on. All these vented patients, 9-to-1 patient ratios, plus, just a lot of unsafe and dangerous things going on. And in the nursing profession, that's scary, because as a nurse, people know how hard we work to get that RN behind our names. So, I was scared for my safety. So not only am I afraid for my safety, but I'm also afraid for the security of my license. That plus the doubt and negativity I was receiving from people when I would tell them and let them know that I was going to New York to stop traveling and work during COVID, just a bunch of doubt and negativity. It made me just second guess the whole situation, and I really wanted to just, say fuck it and go back to my normal routine. But once I got in the house, I had some self-realization, and I understood I hate being uncomfortable. But what I've learned in life is that in times of discomfort is where the most growth is built and the most character is built. So understanding that, me having to, out at home, I got my own place. I got my own whole house. I drive to work. I know my grocery store. I have my routine. So now I got to wake up way earlier than I normally wake up, because I wake up 30 minutes before my shift starts. Now I got to wake up an hour and a half, walk to the bus stop,
take a 40-minute bus ride, walk to work, and then do the same thing when I get off of work to come home to 2 random people that I've never met in my life before. I now have to do my laundry at a laundromat. You know what I'm saying? Walk to the grocery store, walk back from the grocery store, my groceries. And I compare it to, professional athletes. During their off season, they put their body through immense amounts of stress in order to become an elite athlete. When it's game time, it's going to be light work, and that man in front of them are not going to be able to stop them. So I look at this time right now, having 10 patients, 4 patients on the vent. I'm just in the most uncomfortable situation possible in order to be the best person that I can become, as well as the best nurse I can become, because it ain't going to get no worse than this.
So, with that being said, a wise man once said, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And a person near and dear to me has taught me that you either adapt or you retire. And last time I checked, I'm 26. I ain't got that much time stacked up in the retirement bank yet, so that's out of the option. So we're gonna adapt, and we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna come out of this stronger than ever. So I want y'all to stay tuned, follow me on this journey. I'm gonna try to get a video to y'all every week because I want to do a compilation of just content from what I saw throughout the week for y'all and composite it together at the end of the week. So I appreciate you guys watching, tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.